Sorting data is probably the most common tool in the data management. Now we have a list of data on this worksheet. List of implies around 600 rows of data. And if you look closely, this list is in no particular order. Now imagine wanting to sort this list based on maybe building, department, status, or maybe number of years, or maybe the compensation, or maybe the job rating, or maybe benefits, or maybe employee name. So sorting for most of the time, for most of the people, means rearranging of rows up or down. And if we sort, we want all the information of the single person. For example, Tanushri, to move up or down into appropriate place. Now based on either what's in column A or column B, whichever column we are sorting. Now there is also another option to sort by column, but that's rarely used. And if we can sort in any number of different ways, any number of different combinations, the data tab in the ribbon has the button called sort. If I go to the data tab, we have a button here called sort. We have an entire group called sort and filter. Here we have a button called sort. It says find values quickly by sorting your data. Tell me more. If you're on home tab, we also have this button sort to the far right in the editing group. We have this button sort. Here are a couple of choices: sort A to Z, A to Z, Z to A, custom sort, and then we have filter. So they go hand by hand, like find and replace, sort and filter goes side by side. Now there are certain rules, certain principles before we actually sort the data. Whenever you're working on a data, or whenever you're doing any kind of data cleanup activity or data analysis, always start with scoping the data. Maybe somebody has sent this data. I take a quick look at it. Okay, everything looks fine. But is there any empty row in it? I don't know. Is there empty column? Maybe the headers are in the single row or double row. So we should always start with scoping the data. And how do we scope it? Simply click within the data. Don't click outside the data. Click within the data anywhere. It doesn't have to be any particular cell. Just click any of the cell, press Control A, Control period couple of times, and you can see, okay, and you can scroll up and down if you're not clicking anywhere, and then it will take you back to A1. It shows all the contiguous data will get selected. Now once the scoping is done, we can activate sorting. So on the home tab, if we go to sort and filter, we click on custom sort. Now you don't have to select any particular column. Like if I have to sort maybe by building, I don't need to select column B here or the building here. I simply click on any of the cell in the data. Just make sure you click within the data. Go to sort and filter, click on custom sort. Now we can add some levels out here. Maybe the first thing I would like to sort is by building. So I'll select here building, then add level. First sort by building, then sort by status, then sort by department. Now if you're using Excel 2016 or below 2016 or 2007 or 2013 Excel, you could only sort by 3 levels. Starting Excel 2016 and above, you can sort, believe it or not, up to 64 levels. So we'll add couple of more levels. So sorting will happen in this particular order. First, it will sort by building, then by status, then by department. Then I would like to sort maybe by compensation. And this I want to sort largest to smallest. Then sort by job rating. How about largest to smallest again? Then sort by employee name. So we have several columns here. We can change the order of the column. Maybe I want to sort status first, so I can move up or down here. But let's keep it this way. And we are sorting maybe by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 levels here. And you can sort up to 64 levels, but we'll sort only by 6 now. And then click OK. And Excel has sorted the data. Now you see here, the first it is sorting by building, then by status, then by department, then by number of years, then by compensation, then by job rating, and lastly by employee name. So because we got so many levels out there, you may or may not see that it's actually getting sorted or not sorted, but yes. Let's click within the data again, go to sort and filter, custom sort. Let's change this order. Let's first sort by status. Let me move it up. And then by department, then by building, and so on. So I click OK. Now, if you select this data, if you come here, you would notice that Excel has automatically selected the data. If your data has headers, you make sure it is checked. If it does not have headers, you uncheck it. Excel will also sort employee name, building, department by its headers based on what's the order. My data has headers, so I'll make sure it's checked. And then click OK. Now Excel has changed the sorting order. Now it is first sorting by status. You can see C, ABC. And then it is also sorting by at the same time department, and then by building. So it is doing its job. Now, not always you want to sort in multiple levels, maybe 5, 6, 10, 20 levels. You want to sort it only by one level. So do I need to do that? Go to custom sort and all that stuff? It's not required. Let's say I would like to sort only by building. If you want to sort only one particular column, simply click within that column. Don't need to select that column. Simply go and click anywhere within that column or any of the cell. Just click at that. Go to sort and filter, click on A to Z or Z to A, whichever way you want to sort, it will sort it. Now, after you have sorted this, you might say, okay, I want to sort by department as well. So you click anywhere within that department column or the next column you want to sort, then go again and click on sort A to Z. Now, what Excel does, what you want it to do. Excel will remember the previous sort and then sort the next column. The Excel will not randomize the data. It will remember that, okay, we've sorted this building. So building is already sorted here. And it has also sorted this department wise. So Excel will remember the previous sort and then sort the next column. So for sorting one or two columns, simply don't need to go to custom sort. For sorting multiple columns, go to custom sort. You can select whichever column you want to sort the data by. Or you can add up to 64 columns and sort the data. If you work with list of data, there are certainly sometimes that you say, okay, I don't want to see this information for some time. You don't want to delete it, but you just don't want to see this for the moment. Maybe let's say you say, okay, I don't want to see the people from a factory building for now. I don't want to delete it, but I just don't want to see them. So what you are trying to do is to filter out the data. And we can filter out the data in any number of different reasons, for any number of different reasons, or for any number of different ways that we want to do. We just want to focus on some part of the data. You can achieve this in the data tab by the feature called filter. We got a big funnel out there. We have a filter button over in home tab, sorting and filtering. As with any other data management tool, make sure your data does not have any empty row or empty column. Scope out the data. Maybe you have not seen the data in a while, so you can easily scope the data. Click out within the data. You don't need to select any column, any cell, any column or any row. Just click within the data. It's a data management tool. Go to sort and filter, click on filter. Now you'll see those tiny drop arrows at the very top at your header. And if your data has text in it, you click on this pull down, you'll have the text filters. If it's a number, you have number filters. If it's a date, you will have date filters. Now you may want to filter the data for any number of different reasons here. Maybe I want to focus on people from maybe Asian building. So I simply select it. Maybe I can unselect all and select Asian building. Now, when you filter the data, the row numbers that you look at there is a light that lit up behind them. Now you see that all the row numbers have a light called blue light that has been lit up. It's only there to alert you to the fact that some of the rows are hidden. We have just hit those data, and you can filter the data in any number of different ways, different combinations. Maybe in the Asian building, I want to focus on people only in manufacturing. So I can maybe select manufacturing here, and I only see that in Asian building, manufacturing people, maybe the full time, maybe who are getting manager allowance or restricted over time, maybe who has a job ready. So you are not deleting the data, you're just not seeing the data for the moment. In order to remove the filtering, you can simply click on clear filter from benefits, or if you want to remove all the filters, you can simply press Ctrl Shift and L as in list. It will remove all the filters. To bring back the filters again, simply press Ctrl Shift L again. It will activate the filter. Now maybe I'm looking for somebody named Bala. I don't know where he is. So you can put a text filter here. It works just like a conditional formatting, putting a condition out there. Text contains Bala, and you can put in some more conditions, or contains maybe Neela. And if I click OK, I have a Neela month, and I've got all the people who has Bala in it. So I put in two conditions. I'm filtering it twice. And you can do that in a simple way. You can also search it here, and you can keep on adding those scopes. So you can add it in either ways. You can search it from here. You can search it by putting it here as well. In the date filter, you have all the options here, all dates in the period. You want to see only for March, all March will come. If you want to see any other particular date, you have the control over your data. Maybe how about last year? Nothing's there. Maybe this data is quite old. Yeah. So all dates in the period. How about quarter 1, quarter 2, this is second quarter data. So you can easily filter out the data, and there is more than what you can imagine. So we have, if it's a number, you can put in multiple conditions, less than, equal to, between, average, above average. So you got a lot of options here to choose from. Filter is not deleting the data or erasing anything. You're not doing any damage to your data. You're simply just hiding the data for the moment. And you can also, once filtered the data, let's say I would like to filter the data by factory building and maybe by ADC. So when you select this data here, you can simply select this data, copy it. Now if you see here, you are selecting only those particular rows here, and you can go to any sheet, and if you paste it, you are pasting only the visible data. So pretty much easy out here to copy the filtered data and paste it anywhere that you want. So you're not doing any damage to the data. We are simply hiding the data as we use the filter capability found on the data tab, sort and filter. Now we are in this worksheet called splitting data in data management features. Now it's also a data management feature that we may want to do. Sometimes we encounter the problems that we want to solve here. In this sheet here, in this list, we have around 600 rows of data here. But whoever prepared this list wasn't thinking too much. He put in uh, first name and last name together in the name section. Now the order of business says whenever you're putting a name, you put first name and last name in separate columns. And there are several reasons for that. And same goes with city, state and pin code. You always put city, state and pin code in separate columns. Don't merge them together. But whoever prepared this data never discussed, he prepared this data together with all this information. Now we are facing some challenges here. We want to fix this. We want first name and last name in separate columns. How do we do that? Should I go back and ask the same person, okay, please do it all over again? Can we do it? Yes, we can. It can solve the purpose, but it will take us several hours to do. And probably you might think, okay, there should be some way we can do it. We can separate those. And there is. The feature I'm going to talk about is called text to column to split the data found on the data tab. Since it's a data management feature, let's begin with scoping the data. Maybe this data is sitting idle for several months. I have not seen it. I just wanted to make sure that we don't have any empty row, empty column in it. All headers are in one row and it looks perfectly fine. Click within the data. Now, the column that you want to split, make sure we have a couple of empty columns right to the right of that. So I would like to split column A over here. So I'll click on column B, and if I click on insert, it will always insert a column to the left of it. So I'm going to insert a couple of columns here, 1, 2, and maybe 3. To be on the safer side, you need to make sure you have more number of columns here, just to make sure that it should be safe. Because if there is some data in it, and if we split the data, Excel will overwrite the previous data. So if I have any street address over here or anything which is written here, it will simply split it. Just wanted to make sure it's empty. I'll simply control down and control down again, control down again. So my data, all these columns B, C, D are empty right now, blank. So I would like to split column A. So let's select column A that we want to take action on. And then on the data tab, we'll go to text to columns. Click on text to columns. It says convert text to columns wizard, set up step 1 of 3. Now there are two ways that we can split the data. We can split the data by fixed width. You can say after every 7th character or 10th character, split the column, or it will be delimited. Delimited means that some columns may have 5 characters, some columns may have 7 characters, somebody has 3 characters, 2 characters. There's no limit to that. So it's a delimit, and the delimiter will be maybe you would like to use a comma, space, or any other delimiting factor, which is actually separating those words that we want to split. So our data, we have commas as a delimiting factor, but we don't have a fixed width out there. So we'll keep on selecting delimited, and you can see the preview at the bottom, how this is going to look like. Click on next. Now we have convert text to column wizard. Now we have over here the delimiting factor that we want to use. Maybe I would like to use a comma here. And I can see how this is going to look like at the bottom. If I uncheck it, see how this is going to look like. So I'll first like to separate it by comma and then click on finish. And it says there's already data here. Do you want to replace it? I think that's a flaw in Excel. We just saw that there's nothing in there. So I'll simply click OK. And I've got name and last name separate by comma. But if you look closely, there's a leading space in it. So I would like to get rid of those leading space. So I select column B again, go to text to column again. This time I'll select space and click on finish. It again says there's a data, there's nothing there, we know that. Click OK, and here we are. I've got first name and last name over here. I don't need column B and D, so I'll simply select it and get rid of them. I've got first name here. I can type it in, first name and last name. And my data is perfectly fine. Nothing wrong with it. Now, I have the similar problem with city, state, and pin code. Let's fix that one. In order to do that, we have city, state, and pin code. I may need at least 3 columns or maybe more than that. So I'll simply right click here and insert some of the columns. And let's insert one more. One more. Let's select insert 2 more. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns here. I think that should be perfect. I don't want to lose any of the phone number here. So I want to split column D here. Simply select column D, text to column. Now the first delimiting factor would be comma, not a space, because what happens here? We got a couple of states or cities which are double digits, like Manjunath, Monath, Bhajan, Manjan, and over here we have South Damdam. So space is something I will not use now. We have Raj, Nandgaon. And just a friendly reminder, these are all random generated names, addresses, and pin codes. I am pretty much sure I have not put in yours there. So let's try to split it. Let's start with comma first. I'll do it with comma. And here it is, how this is going to look like. You can scroll down, see how it will look. Click on. You can see how this is going to look like. Click on finish. It says again, there's a data here and there's nothing there. I've got city, state, and pin code here, separated cities with state and pin code. I want to do the same thing over here. Delimiting. Now this time I would like to delimit by space and click finish. Again, it says there's a data here, there's nothing there. And we got city, state, and pin code separated in different columns. I don't need these extra columns, we can get rid of them. It's always good to insert more columns, then you can delete them later. And we have all these city, states, and pin codes separated in different columns here. And we have all this information separated. So first name, last name, city, state, and pin code. Initially, when you start to build the data, make sure first name and last name are in separate columns. Same goes with city, state, and pin code. But if not, you can use a feature called text to columns found on the data tab in data tools. When you work with the list, and particularly if the list is being worked on by several people, you encounter the problem of duplicates. Now maybe I've got 5 or 6 different people. This file is here on a shared drive. A lot of people are putting in entries in there. And we have some duplicates here. I've got some here. Is this a duplicate? I'm not sure. But is this a duplicate? Maybe it's a duplicate. Now, over here, if you sort it, maybe you can find some of them. But I could see some of them here if you scroll up and down. How about this one? This is a duplicate. This is not a duplicate. We got 2 different names here or 2 different times here. Right. So how about this Chakrapani? Let's stick to that. So Chakrapani Bawa, is this a duplicate? Yes, it's a duplicate. So we want to get rid of these duplicate items. But who has the time to go through all this entire list? It's a pretty huge list here, around 600 rows of data. I just want to delete these duplicate items. I don't want to keep these duplicate items. And now these duplicates doesn't need to be adjacent to each other. They can be widely dispersed. We are seeing these because they are sorted by employee name. But when you want to remove these duplicates, you want to check for all the columns here, not just the employee name or the building. We want to check all the columns to find the duplicates and then remove those duplicates. Now, since it's a data management feature, we begin with scoping the data. Click within the data. Make sure press Control A, Control period. No empty space, no empty row, empty column. Now, the feature that I'm talking about is called remove duplicates. Now, remove duplicates will remove the duplicate rows from the data. And that's what we want to do. We want to check entire columns and then remove the duplicate rows. And we are likely to see one Chakrapani if everything goes fine. So, similar to other data management features, don't select any column, just click within the data. The feature is found on the Data tab. In the Data Tools, click on Remove Duplicates. Excel will automatically select the data. And it says, if your data has headers, make sure it's checked. Otherwise, it will also check for employee name, building, and then if it found duplicate, it will remove it. And you will see all these headers here. If I uncheck it, you'll have column A and column B here. My data has headers, so I'll keep it. Click OK. It simply says 20 duplicate values found and removed. 572 unique values remain. Note that count may include empty cells, spaces, etc. Now, I think it's a wrong statement. What it should ideally say is 20 duplicate rows found and removed, not the values. They have not removed the values here. They've removed the rows. 572 unique rows remain. So anyway, that's not I'm concerned about. So I've got the Chakrapani over here, one of them, and all the duplicate rows were removed. All the duplicate values, whatever you want to say, they have been removed from the data, and now this data is unique. But what if I want to know what all items were removed? There is no way to find out. It will simply remove those duplicate rows or duplicate values from the data. It's a data cleanup tool. It's an easy to use feature, a vital cleanup tool. Sometimes we need to use it. Don't select any column. Maybe you want to remove duplicate from column B. So you might think, okay, I'll select column B again. Don't do it. Otherwise, your data will all be crabbled up and down. Simply click within the data and let Excel do its job. Remove duplicates, very powerful tool found on the Data tab in Data Tools.